to do a quick forge of the lion knife this morning. There we go, there's the knife dimensions that we're looking for. So in total we're looking at 260 millimeters in length, a spare point type knife. Very relatively simple, very simple design. Here's the piece of steel that we're going to work from. So it's 200 mils by 20 by 6 mils. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to widen it where it needs to be widened on the blade, and hopefully get to show you some of how that works. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the forge, let it heat up. We'll heat up the front end, and we'll start working on the taper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up this front bit, and we want to work on the tapering of the blade, going from 4 millimeters down to very, very thin, maybe a to 1.5 mils, somewhere around there. And then at the back we'll do a similar thing, distal taper through to the back, but also widening the handle, but I'll show you as I go. I'll bring the camera closer to the anvil, but this is what I'm starting with. Okay, 20 mils or 200 mils by 20 mils by 6 mils. We're going to draw out to 260, so add in an extra 6 centimeters, and then making it wider where it's necessary. Into the forge it goes. I'm not forging at very high heat because this is just standard forging temperature. Let me show you the forge with the billet inside. So very simple, nothing crazy here. Okay, so I've got the steel, it's 6 mils thick. I want 4 mils at the ricasso, so I'm going to flatten it out, I'm going to extend it, and I'm going to start working on the spear point. Just work up and down, no need to try and kill the steel. As you can see, it's starting to thin out, to get thinner at the end, thicker here. The blade is 145 mils in length. I've got a chalk mark here, but otherwise my anvil's width is roughly that. So I know that'll be the length of my blade. Don't hit it too cold, that's already a little bit cold. See, so we're still at the 20 mil. I want to keep it there for now, and I'm going to make sure it's equal all the way. And I'm still thinning out, I'm extending, I'm narrowing down the blade, and off we go, back in the forge. I've worked on the tapering down. I've kept the width roughly 20. I've worked on the tapering down. I'm now going to bring out the tip. When forging, you want to forge a slightly oversized knife, slightly over thick, oversized. Then you can go clean up slightly on the grinder. Always leave it thicker, and you grind down to size when necessary, as opposed to making it thin forging and then you've run out of metal and you're opening up yourself to warps. We'll talk about warpage and those issues with quenching later. Right now, we're having fun forging. See, so I bring it to the end of the anvil. So hopefully I don't hit the anvil with my hammer. And I roll it up with my left hand. As I'm striking lightly with the right hand. See, the tip is coming out. See, always see how it's upset here. I'm going to put it back in the forge and just flatten it here so there isn't a ridge in the middle. It's upset in the middle here with all the banging I've done on the sides, making it narrower. See, I'm not striking hard. I'm just working on the paper. I'm not in a rush. I look forward to some of the criticisms, but anyway, I'm not in a rush. I'm taking my time. You can see the taper, the gentle taper. You want a nice gentle taper all the way from where your replica will be. Mine will likely be around here. So I'm going to work my way up now. But you want to taper all the way down, nice and gentle taper that allows your knife to flex a little if it needs to flex, making the pressure even all along the blade. Alright, so I'm going to work a little bit up the blade now. Just bring the taper out. I don't want this belly, but I'll fix that later. Work a little bit more evenly on both sides. As I can see, it's starting to curve this way. That means I need to work a little bit more. Working here. The handle is very simple on this knife. It's just a flare. It flares out, so it's almost as you're, in fact it is, as you're flattening the taper, the distal taper, the metal flares out, and that's your handle. The handle is 115 mils. it's heating, let me explain again. I hope this comes out. Can you actually see this? There is the blade, very simple blade. As you hammer out the handle, you'll get this gradual flare. Do it equally on the left and the right hand side of the handles. Hammer up and down in an S pattern perhaps. You get this flare that comes out. You want the back end to taper, the back of the tang to taper, the distal taper down to roughly 2 millimeters. Even 1 is great. Keep the ricasso at 4 millimeters. The point obviously tapers right down. The ricasso will be 20 millimeters thick. Just now when we start beveling out the plunge and the cutting edge, or when we start hammering it out, sorry, we'll gain an extra 5 or so mils. So at its widest, we want it to be 25 millimeters. I'm hitting a little harder because I can do this in a shorter time, but I think there you see, you can see the taper starting to form. I'll clean it up just now after another heat or two, but you can see if my ricasso will be here, the taper will start to work backwards from here. But you taper from the end and work your way up and back down. But from the end, you don't taper from the middle down, from the end up. Okay, let's keep it relatively clean. And now we start working on the taper. I've got a little, I've not worked that corner enough. So I go up and down in a sort of S pattern, up and down the tang. Can you see how the flare has come out quite beautifully? I want a nice even arch flared out. The taper's coming out beautifully. Okay, let's keep this clean. I'm going to measure it just now. I'm going to measure the thickness, measure the depth at the ricasso, and for now I'm doing it visually. There is the blade. Okay, now I'm pretty much on length. That's fantastic. But I'll gain a centimetre or so just now. Alright, I can go narrower here. It's at 22, so I can decide whether to narrow it down now while I'm forging or to narrow it down on the grinder. I'm thinking narrowing it down on the grinder will be fine. Okay, let me check the thickness. It'll be fine. It's fine. I'm looking at 5 mils, so I've got an extra mil on there, which is also great. Yeah, 5 mils. I want it down to 4, so I'll leave it as it is for now. So right now I'm quite happy. I don't need to straighten this out all the way now, because what I'm going to first do is work on the flange and the cutting edge. Alright, so if the blade is 145, I'm going to guesstimate a little shorter here, let's call it 130, to identify to make the plunge. The reason I do that is, as I work up the edge, the whole blade will extend some more. So I'm giving it an extra 15 mils. Alright, so I wanted this. So now I've got everything on wrong. There we go. And we're just working this corner here to establish where the ricasso is going to start and the punch line is. As you can see, there you go. I've got the start of my plunge, ricasso will end here, and the cutting edge is going to come up, flare out. We're also going to now, what we're focusing on now also is the width of the cutting edge as we're forging. I'm going to keep it to about a 2 mil width, thereabouts. It's almost like we're making a heel for a sock at this point. That's what it reminds me of each time. So we work it on one side, then we flip it over, work it on the other side. Then we're back between each heat. That's how we do it. Once we're finished on the edge, then we work our way up the blade. Keeping the ricasso, the newly formed and identified ricasso, off the anvil face from now on. From this point on, I need to keep the ricasso off. I've got to remind myself of this because that's one thing I forget. Alright, finally, my line is not hard, just nice and easy. So as you can see, I'm keeping it easy, I'm not hitting hard. And also, I'm trying to keep this down the center of my blade. Let's find the ricasso, and we continue. I'll slowly start moving up. Keep the ricasso off the anvil. And you can see the thickness is more or less equal as we go. I'll straighten it all out just now. This will turn into a bit more of a sock or a boomerang, but we'll straighten that afterwards. I'll show you how to straighten it. There are a few methods you can use. At this stage, I used to always get panicked. It's like, oh, it's far too arched, far too out of proportion. It's not going to be right. I used to panic and I would start working it from all angles. There are two ways you can do this, which are very effective. Maybe you can show me other ways, but these are the two I've been taught, and they work very well. They're very quick, very economical. Now I'll work the other side again. It's always a little trickier working on the far side for me. I think it's more in my head than in reality. But keep it on the edge so you don't strike your anvil. Alright, it's cold, no need to carry on hitting it. Let's just straighten that out so it'll fit in the forge easier. Yeah, then I'll straighten it out some more here. Ricasso off the anvil. Alright, I think we can straighten the sock out on the next heat. What I do is I heat up the whole area. You've got two ways you can do it. Heat up the whole area, and hit it with the flat of your hammer down until this back end straightens out. The other way is to put it here on the edge of your anvil, and you hit it just off the anvil, straighten it. Once this part straightens, you then put the rest on and you hit the tip down. Alright, I like to do this with the smaller blades. It's easy. So as you can see, again, I'm not hitting it hard. Keep it straight, or at least see, I'm not in a hurry. If I have to heat it up a second time, I'll do so. Try not to hit it on the spine as I've just done twice. Ricasso off the anvil, straighten it a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the whole thing, put this down evenly, and I will give it a good whack or two this way, and you can actually hear when your metal is straight. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, there, I can hear when it's hit the, there you go. And now it'll be the refining of the blade. Ricasso off the anvil jack. And then what I'll do, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to work down the middle of the blade. I don't want this to get any thinner, so I'm working here in the middle of the blade. I'm cleaning up. I'm maybe working on the planche. If you see that your ricasso is no longer centered, I'll show you how you fix that. You heat it up, like mine for example. If I hold it this way, it's going to the right. So I'll heat it up, do this, keeping the blade on the table, the ricasso off, and I'll tap the ricasso down until it's back in the middle of the blade. Alright, what I can do, when I've got it properly, just mess it on my planche. I knocked it a bit too far back here, so I've damaged this here, but it's okay. I've still got room to spare, so I'm going to flatten it. Bring the ricasso back forward by 1.5 mm. So I'm going to bring the ricasso forward by a millimeter or so, which will give me a nice defined S coming out on the air blade. So be firm now, Jacques. There we go. That's beautiful. All right, so now let's come back and do the point and straighten them in. So I'm just hitting back here, about a centimeter or so away from the end of the point, and I'm rolling it up with my other hand. bump here that I've just got to work on. Overall, let's look at the point. Can come down a little bit. And then I'll straighten everything out. Easy roll coming in, a nice gradual roll coming in. There we go, the roll's coming in, it's looking good. I don't want to thin it out too much down there. Going with a smaller hammer. Could have actually started that just now already, because the forging is done. It's really cleaning up now. That's done. I think that's good enough. Yeah, that's coming down slightly. Perfect. I like that. That's wider than I want anyway. It's got to be 28 mils. I think right now it's probably sitting at 32. So I've got plenty of space there for grinding. I'm happy with that. That's all for now, folks. Thank you. I'm going to start editing this this video, and then we'll work there. There we go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to edit this video right now. I'm going to edit this clip, and then tomorrow I'll work on part 2.